Of course, investigating on what is happening with the opposition party in Kaduna State. And when I talk about opposition, I have in mind the PDP. Recently, there has been allegations of corruption, mismanagement of funds, and even identification of some of its members, which has led to some faction of the PDP saying that it has sacked some top members of the party. The true story is what has been on the table and for us to sort out. Some days ago, I had a guest here who said that pointing accusing fingers to some members of the party. But again, clearing the air is what we are doing today. And of course, the implications of these when you have a party in the opposition in Kaduna State that has all of these wranglings going between it. So, what does that say about it's managing its affairs? To share thoughts with me this morning on the what is happening with the PDP, I have with me a chieftain of the party here with me in the studios, and that's talking about the PDP. The chairman, Forum of Kaduna State PDP Young Persons for Progress and Development, Danjuma Sarki, my guest this morning. Danjuma Sarki, good morning and glad to have you here with us.
Good morning, Toyin Alabi, and good morning, our listeners.
Let me start this way, point blank. It's all well with the PDP in Kaduna State.
Yeah, I want to say all is well with the PDP in Kaduna State. What we're experiencing today is nothing but a storm in a teacup, orchestrated clandestinely by some very few people who feel they want to hijack the party for their own personal interests rather than the collective interests of the members of the PDP in Kaduna State, Nigeria, and in general, and equally the general public who have now realized that the PDP truly is the best political party and is the alternative they are looking forward to as we move towards the 2023 general election.
One of the allegations that has been put, out or put forward from another faction of the PDP in Kaduna State is about transparency and accountability, and this, will go, with the funds that was released, as people would say, the Atiku funds, in Kaduna State. That some, section, of the party cornered the money, and that's why they could say that performance of PDP in the last presidential governorship elections and all of that was not, what they had planned and expected. Allegations of corruption or mismanagement of funds. Where are you with that?
I want to urge you not to glorify them by calling them faction, because they are not faction. They cannot be a faction. They are only a group of renegades who have just decided.
These are strong words.
To just bastardize the party, destroy a house they claim they are interested in. One, I know in every election, there are always provision for logistics. And this logistics does not come from the air. It comes from a source. And as it is, I know there was logistics that was deployed for the prosecution of the presidential and gubernatorial elections in Kaduna State. And to the best of my knowledge, that logistics came with a template of how it should be properly utilized for the benefit of the party and the benefit of the people of Kaduna State. And in executing the election, I know those responsible, the party itself, and some other leaders of the party, judiciously made use of that money. And that resulted into the high number of votes that was recorded by the People's Democratic Party in Kaduna State. As a matter of fact, and to put it clear, and to further buttress the outcome of the effective use of that resources, was that Kaduna State recorded the highest votes for a presidential candidate in the 2019 presidential election, which was even more than the home state of the presidential candidates. And equally, it was equally more than the votes of other states like Kano and all over the nation, just to cut it short. For somebody to come and claim that that money was not judiciously used, or it was embezzled or looted, as they want to paint it, is most irresponsible. It's equally giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Likewise, is a malicious, concocted lies aimed at blackmailing some of our leaders who have toiled hard to build this party, who have told us to sustain this party. When these people that are making this so-called allegation, we're jumping from one political party to the other. There are people who are known to be very unstable politicians. There are people that even their families doubt their political stability when it comes to a collective interest of the people. So for somebody to come and say that monies are embezzled and people should come and explain, why would somebody be crying more than the bereaved? You can't cry more than the bereaved. The person who released these resources never complained. Rather, he commended the effort made in that election. And again, where they asked them, they should show you any petition or any complaint coming from either the PDP at the national level or the presidential candidate or anywhere, whether in private or public, where he made damning statements against the logistics provided for the prosecution of the 2019 general elections in Kaduna State. You would not find any. And likewise, when they began to write all this concocted falsehood, they came under some fake names, Nokudu Lukman, P. Anthony, and that if you go, you find that there's nobody like that. And you don't just allege on the pages of on the platforms of social media. If you have any axe to ground or anything, write an appropriate petition or complaint to the appropriate quarters. We cannot be carrying things from the social media because somebody sat behind the comfort of his keyboard and just think he can just chunk out some falsehood, then everybody should just accept it and begin to bandy it around and begin to call leaders names. And these are leaders that have been responsible for the growth of the party. These are leaders that have contributed immensely to the development and progress of Kaduna State in general. That what they have contributed in Kaduna State have affected the lives of these people who today have just become, are known as conflict merchants and entrepreneurs, and in so many ways. Today, there's no responsible man or person in Kaduna State, no matter how highly placed, that will come and begin to malign the person of the former two-time governor of Kaduna State, two-time senator in Kaduna State, and the former national chairman of the PDP in the whole country, who brought the PDP out of the woods when Sharif and Co. were sponsored by the ruling party to destroy the PDP and destroy opposition in Nigeria. He stood gallantly when a lot of people thought he could not do it and rescued the party. That's
the bone of contention. That's the bone of contention that this.
And today,
no,
anybody, let me
quickly. No, I must.
Let me land, please.
I must get all these questions out. Yes. And because of time. Yeah. The faction also saying that maintaining the old order, that the leadership that you have talked about of your party, very strong, and people have done so well in Kaduna State. That's again the bone of contention of this faction, saying that status quo, is being maintained, or they want to maintain status quo, not changing, what should be changed, and not allowing, transparency to be shown in the affairs of the party. For example, they go to, ward congresses that these people have not allowed, people to make their choice, be people to choose whoever they want, and that is manipulation coming from leaders and very, very strong persons of the PDP. That's part of the allegation here.
Let me continue from where I stopped before I respond to your question. So for anybody to malign McCarthy is doing a great disservice for this state and for...
He's not a Superman. He's not, you know,
yeah,
we're not
he
saying
has
that...
not committed any offense.
No,
and he
no
has
one
not
is
done any
perfect.
wrong.
What's wrong with things are wrong? What's
like
what's
today
wrong with
now,
that?
I will just come and sit down and write that Tony Alabi, who is in charge of Invicta Radio, has embezzled this money, has looted this phone, and then I peddle it all
If
around
there are
social
proofs,
media.
or if there
Thank
are
you very
proof of
much.
that,
Now you talk
proof
about
of that.
Thank you. To let them show us the proof. Have they ever showed you a bank statement where the money was brought in? Have they ever showed you a template that was given for the money to be utilized and it was contravened? Have they ever showed you a letter written by the person?
The faction is also saying that... the faction is also saying that these were not shown. That's part of the transparency they are talking about.
It was not a public document.
No, for the party, even
No,
itself.
no. It's not a public document. Is it every transaction
For the party,
here?
I'm saying.
No,
for the party.
Let me tell you. Is it every transaction here that you are that you make public to all your staffs?
Within the party, I'm saying.
Only on need to know basis, and that was done. And like I said, the principal person that should complain is either the party itself at the national level or the presidential candidate. But he never did that in any way. And now let me again, Honorable Felix Hassan here is known to be one of the most grounded politicians in Kaduna State, who have held positions more than any other person today living in Kaduna State. He has been a chairman of local government council. He has been a House of Assembly member. He has been the chief of staff. He has been commissioner. He has been SSG. He has been a minister and all various other positions. And today is a party chairman. And since he became a party chairman, the lot of the party have improved. He resurrected the party from a pariah party to make it a bride that these so-called people who came as RAPC saw the party as being attractive and they came to want to benefit from it.
It's also part of,
Likewise, the Right Honorable Isa Ashuru is a man that has so much integrity, that the people of Kaduna have so much confidence in him, to the fact that they voted for him and he won the governorship election in Kaduna State, but for the fact that the government used INEC and the security agency.
No.
I am telling you that, and I am. Let me be held accountable
from a PDP perspective.
Yes, I am a PDP man.
Okay, so I mean that's SDP man. The court is saying different to that, and we know
whatever they call. We equally have our opinion, and we know what transpired.
That's your opinion.
So for anybody to think he can come and malign them or anybody. I just want to advise them that they are embarking on a futile journey that will not yield result, and eventually they will come and regret. So coming back to your question that you said they are looking for a new order or people are old and tired. Yes, we are in a democracy. Today, if I don't like you, whether you are old or you are young, whether you are rich or you are poor, the most civilized thing to do in a democratic setting is to go mobilize my supporters, mobilize the necessary delegates, since it's a delegate election, so that I'll oust you from there and give whoever and support whoever I want to emerge. Rather, because that will show that I truly have the support.
The party runs because of what people want. It's about the people.
That is
It's about the people.
Thank you very much.
And,
so it's about the people.
These people
I'll
are saying that
to you.
They want change.
Let me tell you.
They want change.
I will analyze to you because you say it's about people.
Yes.
And that's why I'm talking about democracy, the tenets of democracy. Tenets of democracy does not entail warfare. Like somebody who come on radio here and TV and begin to tell you that they are going to fight everything, even with bullets. That is the most uncivilized and irresponsible way.
No, I mean, these are just
whatever it is.
Figurative
there are things that you should not just mention.
No.
Using
I mean,
bullets.
we understand that.
That means you want to incite people to engage in war.
Manner of speech.
You understand me? Using weaponry and what have you. You know. So what you need to do, if you truly have the support, you don't even have to make noise. Go quietly, mobilize, campaign for whoever you want to support, then bring him on board. Nobody, our constitution in the People's Democratic Party, likewise the constitution of Nigeria, did not bar anybody, even if you are 100 years today and you want to contest and people feel they want to, they should go ahead and vote for you. And let me tell you, today, anybody who's talking about, how old is the chairman of APC in Kaduna State? How old is he? Is he not older than the current chairman of PDP?
It's not about old age.
And again, how old is the president of Nigeria itself, Buhari? He's almost over 80. Sorry to say, if you have to go by record, because even him, he doesn't know the truth, his true age. So, and let me tell you again.
I'm taking all of this because it's the PDP, your opinion. Yes, that's what's going on.
And let me tell you, President Trump today.
It's not about age that these people are.
Thank you very much. It's not about age. And if you say, hey, you don't like my face, please go and mobilize and get those people out. And allow those who like them to equally exercise their franchise. If they emerge victorious, fine. And let me tell you, in this fight, or in this so-called crisis they are trying to bring about, let me tell you, how many are they? They are few. In this state today, we have a former sitting vice president of Nigeria. We have, in person of His Excellency Mohammed Nabadi Sombo. We have a former two-time governor, two-time senator, one-time national chairman of the party. We have His Excellency Alaji Mukhtar Ramadan Nyero, a former governor. We have His Excellency Ambassador Audu Nuhu Bojoga, who is a former deputy governor. We have a lot of former senators, Nenadi Usman, and what have you. We have former ministers that are numerous, Mrs. Malam, Hassan Yer himself, and a lot of them. We equally have former speakers, not less than 4 that I can remember. We have Shehu Tair, we have Mohamed Yare Farokwai, we have this one from Giwa. We have a good number of them. Equally, we have a lot of former House of Rep members. We have principal officers, former principal officers. Yakubu Umar Bade was a former minority whip in the House of Rep, and he was the highest ranking member of PDP in the entire Northwest from 2015 to 2019. At presently, we have Honorable Gideon Gwani, who is the sitting minority whip. He is from Kaduna State here, and equally he is the highest member of the PDP from Northwest in the House of Reps. We equally have the caucus of the House of Reps, okay, and at the National Assembly. We have caucus of the House of Assembly members in Kaduna State House Assembly. We have the BOT members in our party who are from Kaduna State. We have escorts from Northwest Zone who are from Kaduna State. We equally have a forum of chairmen of stakeholders of every particular local government. All these people, you think they are?
Is this all okay? Is this all okay?
During this crisis,
is this all okay?
Better than them?
Is this all okay when people, say that they want transparency and change in the party? Is it about personalities and what positions they have occupied?
No, when you're talking about
because I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about what people want.
We have a lot of leaders in the party who love and cherish this party, who mean well for the party. They are not part of these people who have become political crisis contractors. I want you to understand.
At the beginning of the program.
Again,
please,
yes.
At the beginning of the program, I asked, if all is well with the party. Yes. And then you just went on and why all is well with the party. Yes. In the studio, I've had guests who are in the ruling party who would say to me that they don't even believe there's opposition in Kaduna State. Yeah. For a democracy, opposition is part of why democracy trends. And I'm asking you, the PDP in Kaduna State, how vibrant is the PDP? With how it comes with opposition and all of that. Can we see, a vibrant PDP in the opposition, in, governance in Kaduna State?
Let me tell you why I'm here clearing the air on some of the...
because my question will have to follow, what I get from you from here.
Yes, that's absolutely. Why I'm here to clear some airs on the storm in a teacup is because for so long they have been chunking out falsehood, trying to mislead the public. When the public know the true position of PDP, and the public love PDP so much, and they feel that the PDP is the best alternative, and nobody should do anything to ensure that it causes any harm or damage to it. And that is why people kept urging me that please, I should just come and clear some of this misinformation. And that is why I am here. I want you to know that. It is not because we are worried with what they are doing and the rest of it. Because I know already a system has been set up according to the Constitution to take care of whatever they are doing. And coming to your issue, PDP remains the most virile, the most constructive, the most strongest opposition party in Kaduna State.
With what on the ground that we see?
Yes, and today it is trying to rejig itself. It is on a transformation process, which after it's conducted and completed, the public will now see a brand new PDP with the required vigor, with the required zeal to drive us to where we ought to be in PDP. in a nutshell, bring in a government that is responsible to the people, a government that is concerned about the welfare of the people, a government that is concerned about the economic development of the people, a government that is concerned about practical infrastructural development, not this kind of audio development and propaganda we hear, where today they will sit down and do some drawings on a ordinary junction and snap it and display to the whole world that they are turning Kaduna into London.
Okay.
When you know clearly, maybe Toyin Alabi, if you were here before in Kaduna, when you talk about roads in Kaduna State, you begin to talk about roads of 100 kilometers upward, and you begin to talk about how many number of bridges are on that road, how many box culverts are on that road, how many local government is that road connecting to, what access is it opening to local farmers so that they'll be able to carry their farm inputs to their farms
and bringing in the people should still wait. Still
but
wait.
here you sit down, you try to deceive people on some little negligible so-called infrastructure project.
Okay.
After giving you mandate for 5 years.
All right.
Really shameful.
The people
and
are still
disgraceful
waiting.
even.
You didn't make it, to come. It's still the APC government that they're still showing. The PDP didn't make it, to come.
The PDP did not make it because there was a conspiracy and connivance between the security agencies and INEC to deprive the people of their mandate.
I will understand that.
And I repeat that. And I can, in a lot of ways, show you that if you want to.
I will understand.
Yes.
From a PDP perspective, I would understand that.
I'm not a PDP member.
All right.
I'll never be.
All right. We'll have to go for a commercial break now. We'll join you shortly.
Invicta FM.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Are you serious? For real, are you serious? Invicta FM.
Welcome back. Is the program Perspectives this morning, and looking at the PDP in Kaduna State. Factions of the party, and of course, we're throwing mud at each other, but finding solution to the crisis and how to make the PDP find its way back into active politics, so to say, so that it can make its mark. And we're having with us in the studio Njuma Seriki, who is the chairman. He's the chairman of the. Did I get that right now? I'm sure of Kaduna State PDP Young Persons for Progress and Development. Sharing thoughts with us here, the PDP chieftain too. Let me come again to the issue of that some people are just not happy with the way the party has been run. Now we do know that Senator Hunkwe has been, some people say, suspended, and Njuma Seriki, another PDP strong man, has also been suspended too with orders. Now again, what this tells about unity in the party. Can we get you on that?
First and foremost, I want to say that the suspension of the 7 persons in the PDP today is actually a step in the right direction. It's long overdue, and it further shows that the leadership of the party in the state is willing to reposition the party as it should at this time. It's rather unfortunate that Senator Hunkwe is known by every politician in Kaduna State and national to be a very, very unstable politician. He has contributed to so many crises in different political parties over time. He has always had this inordinate ambition to contest for governorship since 2003. So this one is not strange to us. And the same people who are today our leaders in PDP are people who are well familiar with his shenanigans. And let me tell you, the suspension that have been meted upon them is not a death sentence. It is there are allegations against them. And what we expect them to do as honorable members is to go and face the disciplinary committee and exonerate themselves. But if they are found and if they are found to be innocent, the party should clearly restore back all their full membership recognition. But if they are found wanting, we urge the party to ensure they implement all the necessary sanctions as prescribed in the constitution against them. Because there's no how somebody will claim to you that he loves his house. Then when he is dissatisfied with something, instead of you to follow amicable way of resolving the issue or meeting whoever is in charge of the house to inform him where he thinks he has gone wrong and equally ask him to make amends and what have you. He didn't do that. Rather, he went and began to throw stone, destroying the door, destroying the window, pulling off the roof and the rest of it. Then you tell me that person he loves the party? When clearly the constitution of the party provides for how disputes should be resolved in the party. And for once, this person have never taken a pen and paper to write a formal complaint to the party in the state that you're accusing to say, okay, in this process of your congresses you are about to conduct, we observe so they are against the constitution, or so and so are against the tradition, or so and so when you do it, it will not augur well for the party. Then you give it to them and you wait. If they fail to act timelessly, then you should know that yes, they have failed to act and you could go further. But rather than
invitations given out to these suspended persons, to come and defend, or or it was just a straightaway suspension. Why, were they invited, to the party
to come and defend themselves?
Yes, of all they have been accused
This is
of.
when they are going to be invited. People think
no invitation, and what we get is a suspension.
Tell you, people think as if PDP or any other organization should be run synonymously with every other organization. It's not done that way. Every political party has its own constitution, and there are differences. Every union, whether labor union or other union, they have their own peculiar constitution. And here in PDP, what the constitution says in section 51, 57, subsection 3, it clearly states, let me read it for you from the constitution. The working committee at any level of the party and the executive committee at the world level may, after preliminary hearings, I want you to get this word, suspend a member from the party for a period not exceeding 1 month, during which period the member so suspended shall lose his right to contest any election and shall be referred to the appropriate disciplinary committee.
You're coming back to me again, Anjuma.
That's what I'm saying. Listen,
hearing. I just had hearing in that.
Don't be a lawyer in their case. Well, let me explain to you, so that you understand better. Because you don't know the people.
I'm playing the devil's advocate.
And some of them now,
they are not here.
Some of them, they refuse. They are so lazy to read the constitution. Here, what did he say? He said preliminary hearings. What preliminary hearing? In PDP's constitution and law, preliminary hearings is when you gather information that this person alleges this person alleges this. You call the person that alleges, is it true? You said this. What are your evidence? What are your proof? You tender it and the rest. When you find that yes, this proof are concrete and needs to be investigated, all you need to do is to suspend that person. Then set up a disciplinary committee as provided for by the constitution. Then you invite to the person formally. Then you now allow the person to go before the disciplinary committee and exonerate himself. Okay? And let me tell you, all
no,
the
I'm not holding brief.
You are really holding.
I'm not holding brief.
For
no, I'm
but
playing the devil's
advocate. Let me tell you,
here, because these persons are not here.
So let me explain. If I explain further, okay, people can see. Even them can be further enlightened to maybe turn back from this route that they have taken that will take them to perdition. Okay? So if they suspend you, then they give you send you to the disciplinary committee, and all this must be done within 1 month. Okay, so it's not that you are going to be suspended forever and the rest of it. No, the disciplinary committee must act speedily and ensure that justice is done. So they think that pre-hearing is like calling them to come and begin to explain to the party first before the party suspends them. No, that is not what the interpretation of the Constitution. If they do that, that means they have started the work of the disciplinary committee because they have started the full investigation. It's the disciplinary committee that will do the investigation. So if you know that you have not in any way violated any sections of this Constitution, and you are somebody who believes in the rule of the law and who believes in the letters and spirit of our Constitution, I don't see any reason why you should panic. Like me now, if you arraign me before a court of law and everything I'm saying here, I will not panic. I will go and submit myself to the lawful authorities and be able to exonerate myself, bring proofs, be able to substantiate whatever allegation is against me and the rest of it, and I will be exonerated. Rather than me going up and be making some noise when I know that I have violated the Constitution. And let me tell you, even some of the offense they are looking at here, the party is looking at here. One, these people, some of them allegedly went to even change the name of the ESCO that were elected at the World Congresses that they claim they disagree with in our national headquarters in Abuja. And they were caught. So that allegation would be proven. Likewise, these same people never for one day, like I said, wrote to the party to express their grievance. Rather, they came on the pages of, on the platforms of social media and on radio stations and TV stations, disparaging the party, bringing the party to disrepute, which is an offense under Section 58(1)(I). He says anyone who engages in unauthorized publicity of disputes within the party or creates a parallel party organ at any level. It's an offense for you to publicize the party's dispute when the party expressly and adequately provided equally in 58(1) L that he said you have to resort to actions or you cannot resort to actions or litigation on any dispute or any matter whatsoever concerning rights, obligations and duties of any member of the party without first availing himself of the remedies provided by the party under this Constitution. Okay, so them coming to the media houses, blackmailing people, pulling down the party, trying to destroy the party, tarnishing the images of individuals and respected leaders of our party and our nation will not augur well for them.
I heard you. Much as I heard your explanation, what the Constitution is saying. I am just, from the simple, way of looking at it. Were invitations given out to these people?
You don't have to look at these things.
Were there hearings and all of that? All we heard, these people had been suspended on the pages of newspapers and radio stations and whatever form of media. That was what we heard about it. Were their story told to the public or to the party? Well, that would be for another time. Okay. But anyway, let's come back to congresses. What is really the issue with the congresses? And as these people are claiming that one of the issues of the party that they are really fighting for is about what congresses and how that's been carried out. That some people have so much interest on who they want maintaining status quo. In fact, that was part of it. That so the congresses and how it's been carried. What is exactly the matter with it?
It is actually ridiculous and very laughable for somebody to say that there's a problem with the Congress. Let me tell you one fact.
Imposition.
Let me tell you, whether imposition or impunity or whatever word you want to use in order to clothe it or make sure you wear some aesthetics to it to make it look fine and penetrating, it will not work. Do you know what? These same persons who claim that the Congresses had issues and they are dissatisfied, they are chairmen of stakeholders forum in their local government. They presided over meetings of their caucuses at the local government. They presided over meetings of stakeholders in the local government regarding this the World Congresses. And again, they went ahead and participated in Congress. As a matter of fact, some of them are even delegates that were elected in that same World Congress. And only for you, Congress was held on the 14th of March. And on the 19th of March, you went and obtained a court order barring that Congress. The party from recognizing those that were elected in that Congress. And again, you still rush speedily to Abuja to go and try to go and change the names of the ESCOs that were elected in that same Congress, and equally cancel other names of other ESCOs and delegates that were elected in some other was to say that there was no Congress that was conducted in the same Congress that you claim had issues. And again, let me tell you, when this whole process of Congress started on 9th of February 2020, all these persons, most of the key people who are in this, most especially Senator Hunkui and Senator Denjumala, they were part of the state caucus meeting that was held on Saturday, February 9th, and all the decisions that were taken, they were part of it, and none of them disagreed with it there. They left on the 10th of February. All the three zonal leadership called a zonal stakeholder caucus meeting, where again they adopted the decisions that were taken at the state caucus. After that, they mandated everybody to go and conduct a caucus meeting and stakeholder meeting in their respective local government, which was done. From there to the world level, all of them participated without raising any issue. The only thing we knew was that they wrote a letter to the National Working Committee saying that there were some violations of the provision of the Constitution, which they didn't spell out. They didn't clearly point out these are the areas. And even doing that is equally another grave violation of the Constitution, because they didn't write to the party at the state. You have to write it first. How are they sure that the party did it intentionally or not? Are they not leaders of the party? When the party are going wrong, they should write and equally or meet them and see how those issues will be addressed. And all these things, they didn't do it. They're only for them to come and say the Congress were not this. But let me take you to the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter is nothing but the fact that it is for 2023 gubernatorial ambition. And Senator Hunkui is desperately, as usual, trying to see that he clinches the ticket of the party without following the necessary democratic procedures. He feels is by intimidation or by forming a one-man riot gang in order to bulldoze his way or to hijack the party. It cannot work. We are in a civilized and democratic nation for period, for God's sake. And let me give you this very good fact, okay? His disaffection with the current leadership and the leaders that he's accusing was that when he left APC in prior to the primaries, 2019 general election primaries, he wanted to be given 40% of the executive leadership of the party at all levels, from ward to national level, which he claimed was the agreement they did as RAPC with the national body of the party in Abuja. And when he came to Kaduna and demanded that, the very right-thinking, responsible party leadership told him that no, it's not possible. We know, yes, there was an agreement that if any of you who was the campaign was to contest the provision that he was at the time of the campaign, he could be given some leverage so as to emerge the candidate, so that you'll be supported, so that he would run on that same ticket. But you came, you said you want to contest for governorship election. And in this governorship election, mind you, there were people who were there before you, who when you left the party and went and formed another party and brought in this godforsaken government on the people of Kaduna State.
Please, let's just be civil and
by bringing them on board. Then now you came back to the party overnight and say that you want now to be the ones to hijack the party or dictate what's happening and be given 40%. We had over 10 gubernatorial contestants at that time. If you give one person 40%, what would happen to the rest? Is that not the most grievous injustice that anybody could do to any of the party members?
Himself to the primaries.
He subjected and he lost.
Yes.
So he came second. And after 2 years, let me give you now took me to a very critical point. When he came second, he now rushed and went in the same manner that he is known to go and snatch away the senatorial ticket that was won by another person, Ibrahim Lol Kairta, in Zone 1, to go and fly the party ticket. But the party at the national, based on its own wisdom, decided to allow him. But the state opposed it, because even if he had won, that ticket, that position would have been snatched away from him through the court. Why? Because you cannot buy a form to contest for a governor in one primaries in the same period, then at the same time buy a form to contest for senator in the same party at the same time, just in a primary that was done within the period of 1 week. That is not possible. Anybody can take you to court, and that your victory can be voided because you had double nomination and participation in two primaries. Saying.
No, I have to quickly just go to the audience now. Let's just get them. You'll be part of you're part of answering the questions. Giving answers to questions. And numbers to call 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Begin to take your calls now. But just before the calls come in, Njuma, I also prepare you for this question: that is your party not giving room for the ruling party to hit and take advantage of what is happening in your party today? You have to answer that, but let the calls first. No. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
To your guest, morning.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Sam.
Sam.
We are heard what the chairman of the youth is saying. But the truth is that, like me, our own polling unit, we didn't see anything. But the type of work we work, I don't think that another polling unit work the way we work.
What polling unit?
I end up, I can't tell my polling unit because of security reason.
Okay, all right. We'll
because even though we went to the governor office seeking for a help, the governor said that we work for PDP, we should go and ask PDP to work for us. Let me tell you the truth. Even my machine, I give my machine out just to work for PDP. But today, even those that won the election, even though you are calling them, they will not take your call. We end up suffer. We suffered day and night working for PDP. The one that PDP won in Kaduna State is not. Hello?
Okay, yes. Can I stop you there? Okay, I guess we'll answer to that now. But let's just take more calls. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Toya Labi.
Good morning.
I welcome your guest in the studio. I guess it's Anjuma. My name is Musa Bala.
All right, Musa Bala.
Yes, the APC man. I need to start with the problem PDP is having. If I may say something, I respect Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi for being one of the pillars that have never ever led PDP in the history of his political career. And the question I want to ask you again, he has explained and confessed that Suleiman Hunkuyi, despite coming second in the primary for the senatorial zone, how come the party still allow him to be the flag bearer? Didn't the party learn their lesson, or they think they can still go that way? That's my question. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. We'll take one more call and then come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I will do again.
Your name, please?
Desmond is my name.
Desmond, okay. Desmond.
Yes. Your guest has spoken very well. To every sane man in Nigeria, the only structured party that can lead this country to the land of the promise is PDP.
You said that. You said that. Yes.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yes, that's your opinion.
And I think
you are entitled to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the departure from PDP in 2015, we all know what is happening now. Insecurity all over the place, hunger all over the place, the disease all over the place. I mean, you know it's going. You know.
No, I don't, because PDP had its own. It had its own time too.
Now concerning the crisis in the PDP, I respect Suleiman Hunkuyi very well, but it's rather unfortunate that his becoming unstable and making himself of a lesser respect.
Let's be civil with our comments. I like civility here, Desmond. Calling somebody unstable. No, please.
Yeah, because he mobilized people to bring the ruling party into power before coming back to PDP. Now he's in PDP. He's trying to create another defections in PDP, and now he's jumped under another party. So if a leader is like that, he's unstable.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is PDP in Kaduna State is as solid as rock.
That's very
Unstable.
tough.
I mean, very, very
Okay,
stable.
all right. Desmond, we got you on that. Thank you,
And from what
no, I can't. Yes, we just got
we
him.
solidly
My time
stand
is.
behind PDP in Kaduna.
It's okay. Desmond, we got you. And the floor is yours now. I have 3 minutes for you to do all of that. Too.
Okay. First and foremost, Sam, I want to once again congratulate you and commend you for the doggedness and resilience you displayed during the last general election in order to ensure you bring about good governance in Kaduna State through the People's Democratic Party. I want to tell you, your effort was the reason why the party and the presidential candidate commended the current leadership and the leaders of the party in the state for the effort they made in ensuring we record that volume of vote that is the highest across the nation. Musa Bala, yeah, you are right by once again reiterating the regards and respect you have for Senator Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi, which is very obvious. But the question that you asked on giving Hunkwi the senatorial ticket after failing in the party, it didn't emanate from the state. He used his own normal manipulative ways to go to the national, pressurize them, and what have you, using the fact that he came from RAPC, and he claimed that he had the magic wand of winning a presidential gubernatorial election in Kaduna State, and he can win the Senate easily. And I don't know how they struck the deal, and they gave him the ticket. But everybody could see that the result that eventually turned out speaks volume, and that is why today he has been exposed, and the national leadership truly knows that this man does not possess those qualities that he continued to claim he possessed. And like I said, had it been he had won, maybe today the person of the somebody from another party would have snatched away that ticket, and all the effort of PDP would have been wasteful. And to the last caller, what you said is actually very right regarding the PDP. We remain very resolute, and this thing, like I said, is something that is actually negligible. But it's just because people will be misled, and to bring sanity to the party and equally show other people who have been taking the PDP for a ride that the PDP has its constitution and has its laws, and they can be followed to the letter to address other issues. So that is why we are still continuing. And I want to call on all Nigerians, and most especially the people of Kaduna State, that they should remain calm, that the PDP is going to weather this little wind that is just blowing. It will be over very soon, and we move and we will seriously rejig, rebrand, and make the party the little bride that they want to court, so that they will bring about good governance for themselves. And PDP still is interested in bringing about the development of the people, to the people, progress, and continue to bring the infrastructural development and welfare that it is synonymous with. And lastly, let me say something. You said something behind the air about the claim of Colonel Gora that he's a PDP member, that he brought a membership card. I want to tell you, having a membership card is not sufficient for you to call yourself a bona fide member of a political party. One is your name being on register, and two is for you to even know which ward you belong to, because he told us that he belongs to Chukun local government Sabo ward, which today, if you go to his Facebook wall, you scroll down on 15th of March, that's a day after the World Congress, he wrote a very long concocted lies about the primaries in Sabo, which is his ward, that he claimed on that write-up, and his local government, Chukun local government. But and again, when we did a meeting, when the roadmap committee for 2023 for PDP was inaugurated in Kaduna, he was introduced by the same Hunkuyi as a member of the party from Chukun local government. Some of the stakeholders in Chukun immediately stood up and opposed it, that they don't know him in Chukun local government. Days after, he now brought out a statement that he had gone to register appropriately in Chukun local government. When the ward leaders came out to disclaim him, he now came back to say he's from Gora ward. And I'm from Dongwakota local government, and the chairman of Gora ward explicitly wrote that his name is not founded in the register. So what he's carrying is actually a document that has been forged and is subject of investigation by the party and necessary security agencies.
On that note, we'll just throw the curtains on the program Perspectives this morning. The chairman, Forum of Kaduna State PDP Young Persons for Progress and Development, Enjuma Saki, our guest this morning. Enjuma, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much, Toyin Alabi, and thank you all our listeners and contributors this morning.
Okay, and that's Perspectives for today. Dorcas Baga, thank you for connecting us with the people. We'll come back with Perspectives tomorrow. Good morning.
Invicta FM. Every day, baby.
This is the station playing today's best mix.